So we are back once again live. It have been a while since I have done a live stream. So we got a topic for today. Big topic in my humble opinion, right? We're gonna be talking about who should be the face of Impact Wrestling in 2018. And there are really good four choices, and we're gonna be making a case in favor and against it. No host bar, no host bar. We don't play political correctness around here. So we should start with the ladies first. The first choice we got Rosemary. She is one of those people that is an instant eye catcher. I told it during my review of Bound for Glory 2017. I watched that show not here at my house, but I watched it in the house of my drummer, right? He's not a wrestling fan or anything like that. He just let me use his cable because he had energy at that time, right? And he was watching some of the stuff. We were talking music and blah blah blah. And as soon as Rosemary came out, he paid attention to the TV. He wasn't paying attention to nothing else. No music, no other type of distraction. And that is something that is worth it, in the sense that you cannot buy that type of atmosphere. So she got that in her favor. Obviously, she can wrestle. She knows how to act and keep herself in character. So, does she should she be the face of Impact Wrestling? It could be a good idea. I don't think wrestling have ever had a female, a female talent being the top talent inside of the company. There is, however, a little bit of downside to that. Why? And it is that usually, and this is not every, single female talent, but they tend to have shorter careers. And it is, that was true with Lita, that was true with Trish Stratus. She was there, kicking ass for 5 7 years, and then she went home and she did her family stuff. So that is something that should be in the back of your mind. And however, it is not the business of Impact Wrestling asking about that. That is why is that a sensitive topic. That is a question that you simply do not ask, and obviously it's because of privacy and all that type of stuff. That is none of no one's business, her business. But that is something that you should keep in the back of your mind. Next, we got Austin Aries. What are his pros? His pro number one is that he was from the old guard of Impact Wrestling. He have his original run, then he had his second run as Austin Star, then he had a third run as just Austin Aries, and now he's having basically his fourth run on Impact Wrestling. So if you wanna catch the eyes of those forgotten fans, he could be that bridge that could get them to watch the show once again. He also had a little bit of exposure in the World Wrestling Entertainment, but he unfortunately didn't get the big label. And that is something I think I have touched a couple of times. If you get that WWE branding, that label, it is very hard to take it away. It is like, I don't know if you guys remember the N64 or those type of cartridge. If Blockbuster put the label on it, forget about it. That cartridge is gonna forever have that label. That is what happened with World Wrestling Entertainment. Once they put the label on you, you forever will be seen as such. And Austin Aries managed to avoid that branding. So that is something that he have on his favor. What is the cons against it? Number one, he's getting up there in age, and he's a phenomenal athlete. There is no doubt in my mind about that. But no one can trick age, and he is getting up there. That is gonna be one of his downside. His second downside is that he is not a heavyweight. That is just the simpler truth about the American wrestling style. If you are gonna do American professional wrestling, you need big guys. That is just the nature of the business. At least in the sense of 6 feet tall and 20, 10, 20, 20 pounds, something along those lines. A heavyweight. So Austin Aries is shorter than that, and that is something that obviously he cannot control that or change that, and should not be primarily judged by that, but that is an observation, and there's nothing you can do about it. And there's have always been the history that usually big type of guys draw a lot of money. That is not, a conspiracy theory or anything like that. Just go ahead and watch the Andrew the Giant documentary and see, how was he able to pack so many arenas. The only way you can kill that if you overexpose your guys like Big Show or Kane. That was what the World Wrestling Entertainment did to them, but this is not a show talking about that. But yeah, that is my case against and forward for Austin Aries. We got another one. We got Eli Drake. So Eli Drake, he's really good on the microphone. He have improved by leaps and bounds. On the ring, he's getting very fast, very athletic. He's willing to play ball. He basically started from the bottom in Impact Wrestling. He didn't got there with a big push, big whistle or anything like that. He worked his way out. He's beloved. He is beloved by some of his fans, and his fans are hardcore about it. He When you go ahead and go to Google Trends, he's not as famous as you think he should be, but he have his fans. He also had in favor of him that he is a body guy, and he put that work in time. So the diet and the weightlifting and that type of stuff. So what would be his downside is would be that his first run it was on the downs, since Impact Wrestling in their wisdom decided to record the big batch of tapings last year. That kind of hurt him. If I think if he haven't got a chance to hold the belt, he would be in a better standing right now. I don't know if I am able to explain myself clearly, but yes, the title reign was good, nothing bad or anything. But at the end of the day, there was a lot of stuff that it was left on the table because circumstances changing of the guard, and that type of stuff. That is what happened when you got a company that it is unstable back stage. So that is would be the downside of him. Is number one that he is not that over when you actually take a look and do a little bit of research. But number two, that his title reign kind of hurt him, and I think he's better off as a chaser, not necessarily as a world champion or someone carrying gold around his waist. I think he doesn't actually need it. And my fourth choice, it would be Moose. Moose obviously happens to be a former football player. Therefore, he is a big dude, and this guy can move. This guy can move. He also happens to be black. I think that it is something that help him if you want him to be the face of Impact Wrestling, because at the end of the day, we haven't got a long-term face of a company being an African American man. The last time we saw that was late WCW with Booker T. And Booker T, man, during that time, I was watching some of that stuff. He was a beast. I mean, this guy was a athletic, tough, big. He had it all. He can also cut a promo. So Moose had that for him. He got the size. He got the ability and that factor of, how can I put it, that you can be impressed by. Once you see Moose, you have like an idea on your mind. He is gonna be like a big dude, like something, let's say like Vader or something along those lines. But once you see him in the ring, you say, "Holy shit, this guy can move." However, there's a little bit of inexperience, right? And you see it in the ring. And however, that is easy fixable. I think that Impact Wrestling should book him more, do as much, put him in the ring as much as you can, even if it is just for short matches. Give him more ring time, and you could see some of his, you know, mistakes in the ring. And it is easy for me to sit down in my chair and point, hey, this guy is not that polished. And I bet if I try to do that, I'm gonna look worse than him. But it is what it is. I cannot change something that is happening right inside, right in front of my eyes, and not say what I actually seeing, not describe what am I seeing. But that is something that should be, seen in that way. This guy is good. This guy have the talent. This man can cut pretty decent promo, but he have the downside of not having that experience. And sometimes he looks kind of nervous. It all depends on who is he wrestling with. And I think he also have that kind of a sport type of vibe, into a sense that if you put him with a wrestler, he goes with the floor. But if you put him like with a athlete like Bobby Lashley, he comes to be like in on his A game. Hey, I'm wrestling Lashley tonight. I better be winning on this one. I'm gonna try my best to not to look bad when I'm wrestling this sporty type of dude. So, what do you think? Let me put the sorry about this. Let me put the chat, because I have a lot of people on the chat. Let me read the chat room before I put my ideas. We got Larkin saying, "Hey, Brian Cage and Moose." We got Michael Peacock saying Eli Drake. Soo Young as the female talent says Larkin. So what else? Oh, we got a little bit of spoilers. No, not really spoilers, but Tesla Blanchard. It was signed by Impact Wrestling. I think she showed up at the pay per view, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, she. I was looking into her. I'm not that familiar with her, but she have that. How can I put it? Like a China vibe. I'm not. I don't know how to put it like more cleanly, but she have like that tough girl, like kind of bouncer type of deal going on. So that's it. So it looks like there's Brian Cage who also had a chance have should have a chance of being one of the people that could be the face of Impact Wrestling, and that is a good observation, Larkin. Also Eli Drake, and oh, I forgot I got somebody else. Hey Nathan, what's going on? We also have Ali, something like right of the out of the left field, and there is something that sometimes it gets like forgotten is how over she was during the doom and gloom days of Impact Wrestling when there was the debacle between Dixie Carter and Billy Corgan and the Broken Hardys and everybody fighting each other. Everybody in the Impact Zone was cheering for Ali. She got that girl next door type of vibe, and she is able to make that work when it comes down to TV. Because one thing, and I have said a couple of times, one thing is when you look at a person in real life, and another whole thing is when you see it on camera. So that is something harder than it looks. And actually, this is way different than a movie that you have multiple takes or stuff like that. You got one chance. I know Impact Wrestling is pre-recorded, but they actually don't do that much editing. So that is someone that also should be on the lookout. As for myself, let me put my basically my closing statements. And if you have any questions or any comment, put it in the comment section. So in closing, for me, before I go to the chat room, my choice would be Eli Drake. And I'm gonna tell you why. Why, oh, why, oh, why? Because as Impact Wrestling, Eli Drake was somehow overlooked. I just posted on my Twitter, and you can go ahead and add me at Wrestling Robert, a video of the experts from the Wrestling Observer newsletter saying back in 2015, hey, this is like Dre sucks. This guy is the most generic guy. Blah, 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 blah. He looks like a guy who should be working at Subway or blah, blah, blah. And guess what? They were wrong. He basically proved them wrong. Their first judgment was wrong, and he was overlooked. He was basically an underdog inside of the wrestling business. Therefore, if you want your company to say, hey, you might have not, put us as the number two wrestling company, you might have say, hey, those people are not that good, blah blah blah. They used to fuck it up, years back or stuff like that. Now things have changed. You might have gotten a wrong impression, and that is something that obviously that is a weight that you're gonna be carrying for the past. However, just like Eli Drake was able to reinvent himself and make himself a major player inside wrestling, proving the naysayers wrong, he is the symbol that also Impact Wrestling, by putting him as his face, are looking to do basically the same stuff. Let's reinvent ourselves. Let's take the best that we have right now and add it with the whole new flavor of the future into making the next new and improved Impact Wrestling. So I'm gonna read the chat for a minute and we're gonna basically go home. I see cool man saying, hey, they say the same thing about EC3, and that is 100% correct. He was just saying, hey, EC3, Eric Bay, man, who cares about that guy? And he proved them wrong. That's why he was the face of Impact Wrestling for a while and one of the most over guys. That is something I haven't talked to this, that much in public. But if you go ahead and go to Google Trends. I do a lot of stuff like that because I am not only interested in talking about in pro wrestling inside behind a camera or something like that. I am also interested in the whole thing because I wish one day I could be rich enough to run a wrestling company. So that is why, obviously, I haven't told you guys, but I work in a wrestling company. I do a little bit of video editing and know a couple of people that work inside of the business because at the end of the day, I am a fan, but I wish one day I could be the owner of a professional wrestling that is one of the reasons why I am interested within those such of things. We got as far as we got Larkin saying as far as Ali, someone who's devoted to Impact Wrestling and is a hard worker. Yeah, great to see her progression on the independent circuit to Impact Wrestling. Yeah, that is true. She I remember like this guy Full Killer, which I am a fan of him, saying like since 2012, hey, please sign Cherry Bomb, and I was like, who's Cherry Bomb? And I went ahead in one of his show when he said that. I googled her and I was, oh, yeah, this girl can wrestle. Fast forward to 2015, I see, her, but I didn't recognize her because she back there she had like a jet black hair, and I was not familiar with that new, girl next door look. But she's over. She got that magic stuff, especially in the impact zone, where I know things that might be over at the impact zone might not be over on TV. However, it makes the show easy to watch since Impact Wrestling doesn't mic that much the crowd. If you notice, the whole thing is being picked up by the mics of the camera. That is insane. I don't know why they do that. Don't ask me, I don't work for them. But since they don't have a mic crowd, they need to have people who actually have major popularity inside of that crowd. So I guess that is it. Let me check out the chat room last second. Yeah, Mr. Yeah, that is a spoiler. Spoiler alert, everybody. Mr. Spectacular is gonna be on Lucha Underground, and this guy, Jesse Goddard, he could be something in the future. I truly do not know how to book him because he got like a syndrome, right? He's always being casted as the the narcissistic like big muscle guy. I don't know if he can get away from that. That is his downside, but he got a very beautiful looking chain wrestling move, and I don't think he uses that as much as I would like to. But pay attention when he started doing chain wrestling. You know that he have very good fundamentals and he knows what he's doing, and it is something that actually you are not expecting, and he's very good on that, underappreciated, going under everybody's radar as a chain wrestler. So I guess that is it for me. Thank you to everybody in the chat room. I hope to see you once again this Friday for the usual Impact Wrestling review. So that is it for me. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.